Hi, if you're new at this game, welcome. I want to talk a little bit about the point buy. So I want to talk about a little bit about what it is, how it works, and why we have it. So if you're new at this game, you don't know what the point buy is. Basically what it is, it's a courtesy way to let a driver know that's behind you that he can go ahead and he can pass you. And simply it's done by just taking your arm, sticking it outside the window, bringing it up over the roof, and pointing him to the right side. If it's something you want him to go to the left side, you point them off to the left side. Now you want to make sure you get your arm far enough so that they can actually see you. We also have the capabilities of using turn signals. So if you have turn signals inside your vehicle and there's somebody that's behind you, you go ahead and throw your right turn signal for them to pass on the right, and then we turn our left turn signal on for them to pass on the left. Now, that is exactly what I want to say the point buy is. The key is you want to make sure that you do the point buy seamlessly. So if you're somebody that's out there on the track, you want to be really good at what I call situational awareness. So you're focusing on not what's just going on in front of you, you know where the flag stands are at, and you're also focusing on what's going on behind you. So if you got a faster driver that is approaching you, you know he's going to overtake you. It's not a big deal. Let this individual go by. You might be able to learn some things from them, or you'd be able to work on your driving craft, let's just say, and then you're going to be able to catch this guy sometime over the weekend or throughout the year. So don't take it personally. But if you see this individual coming, the key is to be able to put your turn signal on or put your arm out the window and point this individual by without that individual having to lift out of the throttle. Now, if you got a horsepower car, you might have to peel back on the throttle just a little bit to let this person go by. I mean, let's face it, at the end of the day, it's almost like everybody is kind of renting the track for a 2-day, 3-day event. And everybody has a portion of time that's allocated to themselves on the track. So we're not competing. That individual has his time, we have ours, and we're just being courtesy to each other on the track. Now let's talk about accidents. That's how accidents happen. We don't know what the driver's intent is in front of us. And that's why we're using the point buy, so that we can prevent accidents. And I can share with you, I've been around this game for a long time, and accidents is a big part of this particular sport, and we want to try to minimize these. Now, some accidents are self-inflicted, right? So you're driving the car a little bit over your head, and maybe you put the vehicle off the road. And then there are some of them that, we're just at the wrong place at the wrong time, right? So it involves another car on the track. And usually if it involves another car on the track and the wrong place at the wrong time, it's because we didn't understand each other's intent and we ended up tangling up with each other. So remember, the point buy is not there to let's just say, jeopardize the weekend, make the weekend any less than what you think it's going to be. It's there as a common courtesy to all drivers to know what the driver's intent is, so we can minimize accidents. There's also another reason, I think, and I'm not sure of this one, but I think that, the point buy might be there for insurance purposes, or maybe even track requirements. So if you're somebody that maybe is just doing track time, there's a lot of cars that are out there, maybe there's some drivers that are new. It's a way to be able to get everybody in and out of there through the weekend safely and without damaging cars. So it could be insurance related, where insurance companies require that. So there could be multiple reasons, and the reasons why we have to go ahead and do the point buy. So I talked a little bit about driver intent. Now, I want you to think about something here, because in all formats of racing, you have some sort of indication when there's a driver coming up behind you. And again, this is in non-competition situations. There is a driver coming up behind you, and somehow you indicate to that driver that it's okay for that individual to go by. I mean, let's face it, in NASCAR, I've seen it many a times where the driver's inside the car, he sticks his hand through the net and he points that individual by. He might put a hand up in the air if he can see through the back window. Sports car, I've seen that as well. I've seen it in IndyCar, I've seen it in Formula One, where the driver that's on the track, he might position his vehicle offline. That indicates that driver that's coming, that he knows that this person's coming from behind him, and it's okay for that individual to pass him. So it happens in all racing form. I mean, if you want, you could call it kind of racing etiquette. I know back in the day when I was running the Formula car, it was kind of a thing where if I was courtesy to another driver, I knew that individual would pay it back to me at some point in time, whether it be that weekend or down the road. So it's considered racing etiquette. Now, I will tell you, though, it's really important that when you do the point buy, it's important for you to stay on your line. So drive the driving line on the track and let the person that's passing you go offline to pass you. Okay, so I would have to say the best way, it's a rule of thumb, let's say, that everybody uses with the point by. If you're somebody that moves up into actual racing, if you will, competition, whether it's SCCA, NASA, or you're going to run into something that's going to be pro racing levels, you will find that oftentimes the drivers then will go offline and they're going to give the line to the individual that's coming up from behind them. But as far as point buys is concerned, I'd recommend you staying on your line. And again, if you got turn signals, use turn signals. If not, go ahead and take your hand, extend it out the window, give them a left pass, go up over the roof, point them to the right. I hope this kind of helps you out, clears up a little bit of what the actual point buy is and why we have it. And again, don't look at it as anything as, let's say it's a lesser than event because we do point buys. Look at it like, hey, we're following racing etiquette and we know exactly what the driver's intent is going to be that's going to be passed. Thank you very much for joining me on this video.